Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, as you saw by the title, we got truck problems again. No, it's not our Raptor, which continues to perform just beautifully. It's my joy in driving, I have to say, but you would expect that, wouldn't you? It's a brand new truck. Well, we're on the cusp of trying to work out what best to do next. Now, I did show in a video the other day that we were having overheating problems, and I'd got home and topped up the radiator with water, and someone, unfortunately, our comments were still turned off by YouTube. So even though the notification seemed as if it was going to give me some good advice, the comment was cut off in notifications, and the subscriber that had started that said, even though you've topped up with water, and then it was gone. So sorry, I didn't get the full advice on that, but let me explain. When you live high in the mountains as we live, unless you can afford to stock for every possible emergency, then you're at the mercy of the environment that you live in to an extent. So we can always go down, but when I say you're at the mercy of the environment, it means that you're going to suffer the inconvenience. So the last time that the truck broke down and it was stuck in the tunnel, and we drifted it back to the bridge, and then we had to get the mechanic come out. He came out with a four-wheel drive Jeep, and we dragged the truck backwards with me at the wheel of the Blue, and we turned the truck around. So then they towed it up to the shop in Talibon and fixed it up. Well, not sure what the problem is right now. It seems to be, it's certainly running hotter and had lost a lot of water. We had put coolant in there, but that didn't cure the trick. Check the oil. The oil is fine, and I look in at the motor, and it's not in a mess. You know, it doesn't have water being lost and squirting everywhere, and certainly there's no oil leaking, which is a relief. Truck actually sounds good, but it's running hot, so there must be a reason for that. Now, the problem is that what do we do now? You must write your answers on a Twitter style message, because you're only going to get so many words. I worked out about 10 or 11 words in our notification, or message me on Messenger. But I'll have to get it into Talibon somehow, hopefully not with a huge towing bill like we had last time, but we'll get it. But it does make me think that we should actually get, even if it's on finance, we should get a new truck. But then I looked at how the last week, where we've been handling deliveries, collection and deliveries of stuff like cubic meters of sand and gravel straight into the back of the truck, hollow block, and the way that they load, I didn't notice it until it was too late, but they're loading the block, and they've got one guy in the truck bed, and another guy plonking the there's a ridge around, obviously the edge around the truck itself is like this, and he was putting the blocks straight down on that. Didn't take long to severely damage it, whatever paint was left on the truck there. So that's that would have to be faced if we were to buy a new truck. And well, I need to buy something that Beth is going to feel comfortable with. She doesn't feel comfortable at the idea even of driving the Kia, the Bongo. The Kia is a big truck, and it's one of those that you sit high and you sit over the front wheels, so it requires a way of driving, and the length of the truck is another thing. So for a novice driver it would be a big chunk to bite off. So trying to work out what we should do about that. Meantime, it's difficult to give up on the Blue. It is actually a great truck. It's four-wheel drive, it's a beautiful interior, it fits, you know, for us in the Philippines. We're not in America, and we're not in a first world country. We're in the Philippines, and in the Philippines there is a different measure of the way that people think in terms of safety. Very few people, except perhaps those driving in new trucks, use safety belts, seat belts I should say, in America. And there is no such thing as overloading, which has probably got a lot to do with the trouble that we have with all of our trucks. Necessity comes, and we take as many people as we're going to, rather than do several trips, and that's the way that everybody handles it. Out here it's quite common to see 7 people on a motorcycle. Yes, a motorcycle. To see 10 or 15 people on a tricycle. And it's quite common to see lengths of bamboo which are probably 25 feet long, yes, 25 feet long, in multiples of probably 10 or 15, tied to the roof of a tricycle, overhanging at the front and trailing out the back, hanging actually on the ground and dragging along the ground. So the idea of safety is quite different here, and it's one of the most difficult things for expats that come on, foreigners who come over here to settle. It's very difficult for them to come to terms with this. Driving at night is a very risky thing, because most of the tricycles don't have any back lights, and a lot of them don't have any front lights, go figure. So sometimes you could, when driving in the dark, and no street lights by the way, you could actually be in the act of overtaking, and coming right ahead and right at you might be a tricycle with a lot of people on, no lights. So you got to know what to do. So we're looking at what to do, and we will eventually agonize over it long enough. I'm really not one for finance. We actually bought our little red truck initially on finance, and boy, when we decided that we were going to pay that off, we absolutely got robbed. They don't have one of those pay only what you owe at the moment that you decide to pay it off. You pay the entire loan as if it's run the whole thing, as if they've loaned you the money for the 3-year term. They don't take it as if you decide that you want to pay off after a year, they don't say, well, the interest for that loan over the year is less what you've already paid, and do it like that. So there's no settlement fee. You pay off what you owe, and it's the whole deal. What I call organised crime. So we'll be back with more news on what's going to happen on there. Meantime, tomorrow we have stuff to do. Wednesday we're going back to Cebu. Thursday it's a busy time this week. We were around checking up on some people that we'd already helped. We went round and checked up on the family that we gave the carabao to, and they're doing good. They're in the act of building a shelter for the goats, and a lot happening. And we were checking up on some other what I guess you would call social problems with the kids, and we're going to be taking them, a couple of kids, up to, on Friday we'll be going up to the Village of Hope and getting some help up there. So back to back to the evening. It's after 11 o'clock here, so we'll be turning in soon. Actually, Beth has turned in, but she swears that she's going to get up later and upload a video after she's rested her back. Yeah, right. And she'll be wearing her glasses, of course. Thanks for looking in, and bye for now.